county is stronger than the private property owner. The county is stronger than the private property owner.
In America, you got private property rights, and you don't have the right to tell him what to do with his property.
This is outrageous. Where are the armed men who come in to take the protesters away? Where are they? This kind of behavior is never tolerated in Boracua. You shout like that, they put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing. Journalists, we have a special jail for journalists.
I agree with you, John, no conflicts. But you're running a piece of media, one of the main pieces of media in the foothills. And I think you need to consider that you can sway public opinion through your piece of media. And in some countries, that's called state-run media. And I think you want to maybe consider that piece around conflict of interest. Thank you.
Well, since that was directed at me, I hope that I have an opportunity to respond. And I would like to say that I might agree with you of your concerns if there were not two newspapers here. What you may be suggesting is maybe the foothills should have no newspaper. But let me give you another side to this. What if you, for the very first time, had true transparency in government? If I'm elected to the board, and I expect that I will, it'd be my intention that I will be very much involved in the day-to-day operations of the county to a larger degree than I have been even as a watchdog. So let me assure you, the public will know more about their government than they do today.
Good afternoon, Yuba Sutter. It's the Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight, and here live in our studio is John Mistler with us again today. It's been a week, but it hasn't been much of a week. There's not been a lot going on with the candidates. I think they've run out of time since, the mail-in ballots have went out, so they think everybody's voted. I sure have. I do know that. And we're looking for Brandon Barnes to get that number 151% right out of the chute and have us a new sheriff. Hopefully that's the way it's going to go down. Also, on the plate is One Eye Blind Media. One Eye Blind Media. Chris Starkey has set it up to where he is going to be able to do a Facebook Live from the voting capital there in Yuba Sutter, in Sutter County, with Donna Johnston, isn't her name?
Yes.
He's going to be in there whenever the ballots come in and be doing a Facebook Live whenever the ballots come in. So we should know that we're going to get an honest race, which will be kind of interesting. They've agreed to let him do that, which would be awesome.
Are they going to let him count the tags?
I don't know if they're going to let him count. I don't know how far it's going to go, but it ought to be interesting seeing a Facebook Live from there the night of the election on June 5th. So he's going to roll in there probably about 8 or 9 o'clock right after the polls close and do that. So that'll be kind of interesting to see. So One Eye Blind Media, it should be on its Yuba City and more posted. So, and doing a Facebook Live there the night of. We'll announce that a few more times before it comes out, but that'd be awesome to see.
No Russians, right?
No, well, there'll be a few, of course. Got to be if we're going to get the right people in there, right? So I'm joined today in the fishbowl with my son, Kieran.
Hello.
So he's going to be learning to run the board out here at the Patriot, 1410 AM, the Patriot. He's learning to run the board with me, and that way maybe sometime this summer while the campaign season is still rolling that I can take a break. That'd be nice.
And 104.3 FM.
Yes, I always forget that. I tried listening on 104.3 the other day. It didn't come in real well.
That was a little fuzzy.
It's a little fuzzy.
Yeah, I was in Yuba City.
So we switched over to KMYCradio.com and live streamed it.
Yes, all the way to the property. We had property
There you
work to do yesterday.
Crystal clear.
Did you have a right to do it? Was it your property?
Well, we didn't
Well, it's
ask.
my property, but I didn't ask if I had a right to do it. I just did it. I figured David Joyce would show up and he'd have a handful.
Oh, you got to watch them.
And I'm even in Butte County, but you know how he'd be with that. The county is stronger than the private property owner. So we're joined today by John Mistler, and you heard his opening. We really liked that opening. That's whenever Alton Wright was trying to throw down with him at one of the candidate forums, and what a comeback, John. I mean, that was really awesome, really well laid out. It's almost like you paid him to ask the question.
It wasn't very much.
He threw himself right out in front of the bus. But, you can't do that to people because a lot of times that's acted as being a bully anymore. If you defend yourself, you just might end up being a bully.
Yep.
Stinky says so.
I've been accused by being a bully by him a few times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to our group in the other room real quick. And John's going to pick us up where we left off last week. We're going to go back into, though, what we covered last week, a little bit of what the water rights and what's going on with the water in Yuba County. Now, I know I don't have a dog in this fight. Bill doesn't have a dog in this fight. Kieran sitting here next to me doesn't have a dog in this fight. Tammy doesn't have a dog in this fight. But Randy does. And he has a full-size dog in the fight.
A St. Bernard, he says.
And so does John. And you know what's funny is I don't have a dog in this fight, but you can bet today when I stopped to get gas in Marysville, because, again, my tank was dry again, and I grabbed a Coke and a bag of chips, and my wife a Coke and a bag of chips, and then Kieran, of course, had to have some gummy bears, a bag of chips, and a candy bar, whatever else he puts in his tank. All right. So, anyways, I paid 1% sales tax, but that doesn't affect me. So that 1% sales tax extra doesn't affect me. I got to remember that. So even though I'm paying it and it's coming out of my pocket, that doesn't affect me, doesn't Andy?
Are you whining?
You know what? Maybe just a little bit, but okay.
There you go.
But that doesn't affect me, so I got to remember that. Andy said that doesn't affect me, and if I disagree with that, then we need to disagree.
We're not allowed to talk about Yuba County, is what I understand.
That's it. So we're gonna let John and Randy blow that one out of the water and figure out why the water is going down. So have at it, guys.
Well, I think John was going to start us out with some history.
History.
Okay,
Let's go back a little bit.
Right. The issue itself is not the issue that got me involved in this race, but I have learned a lot about the issue since that decision. So I'll be glad to share with you the information that I've learned. But what I thought I might do, with your permission, is go back and just do a really brief overview of where we were and how we got where we're at. And basically, the farmers in Yuba County 100 years ago irrigated their crops with well water, which is called groundwater. And then when they built, when Yuba County and the people built Bullard's Bar Dam, they created a storage area behind the dam. And that allowed water from the dam to come down Yuba River and be used on these crops, thus saving the farmers pumping costs and increased their bottom line. Then a few years after that, I think maybe 10 years, the State Water Bank was formed, where the state of California wanted to purchase surface water to meet contracts that they have and water for fish. So what they did is they asked the water districts to sell them their surface water, which would cause the farmers to go back to pumping irrigation water out of wells. At that time, the agreement was made that they would sell water out of Bullard's Bar River to the State of California Water Bank, and the pumpers would be reimbursed for the cost of the pumping created from because they're selling their surface water. In the very beginning, in 89 or 90, the price was $125 an acre foot. And so they put meters on these commercial pumps, and the pumpers were allowed to get all of their costs recouped plus a little extra. So that's how it started. Well, in the last 20-some years, it's gone from $125, fluctuates every year, depending on the water availability, but it's gone as high as $700 an acre foot. So the public of Yuba County was fairly easygoing about this because we were paying off a bond on the Bullard's Bar Dam, and I don't think people really were paying attention to exactly what your water was going for. But when the bonds got paid off 2 years ago, 50 years, the people began to say, wait a minute, this is our water too. And instead of just 100 pumpers getting the benefits of the surface water sales, that it should go to all of the residents of Yuba County. And I think it might have said all of the taxpayers. So that, and the taxpayers would receive money from the water sales that would go back against their property taxes, lowering their property taxes. Now, Andy Vasquez told me that, he says, why should I vote for that? I don't own property in Yuba County. I would get no benefit. Well, I always thought that was kind of a heck of an answer for the people's representative in Linda. But anyway, it would. Now, the new one I haven't seen yet, the new initiative. So I don't know whether it's going to say property owners or residents or what. I don't know what that's going to be. But that's the basis of how we got from before Bullard's Bar Dam, then the creation of Bullard's Bar Dam and storage water, and reimbursing pumpers for selling the surface water. Does that make sense, or did I?
No, yeah, it does. I'm trying to wrap my head around. So if they didn't sell their water rights.
Honey.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
I want to look at John.
I know you do, but you got to look at the mic too.
So if they didn't sell their rights, they would be purchasing the surface water that's stored behind the dam at those rates that have now climbed to 700 and what you said?
What would happen is the water agency worked with all of the water districts, and they acted as a broker for the state water bank. So the dollar amount was negotiated, and it's negotiated every year. And so if they're going to sell for $125, $150 an acre foot, whatever it is, that money comes back from the state to the water agency and then is dispersed to the water districts, because they're the ones that have the water rights. The pumpers and the irrigators are working through water districts to get their water. So Brownsville Irrigation District, Hallwood Irrigation, they're the ones that have the water rights, the irrigation districts. Now, some people have riparian rights or pre-1914 water rights, but for the most part, it's the water irrigation districts that have the rights. They don't own it, but they have a right to use it.
Right. So that's why they have to renegotiate every year, is because it's not their private property. They don't own it. They're just vying for a right to use it or usurp it.
Correct. They every year, and it depends on rainfall and the need for the water. So I think it was 2014 that we had the shortage of water. Maybe it was 2015. So the price went way up. I don't know what it was, but it would be up in that $700 an acre foot range. But then the following year, we had far more rain than we had than average, so the price came way down. So, but your point is right, because the pumpers that are negotiating every year based on the need for the water. You know, it's like anything else. When you got plenty of it, the price goes down. So.
That's why the fluctuation.
Yeah, the fluctuation is dependent upon how much water is available and how much the state's going to need to meet their contracts.
Okay.
But when you have a really heavy water year, the state has other sources of water that they can use.
Okay.
It all began with one of California's perpetual droughts in the late 80s, early 90s.
Right, which is never going to stop happening. We're always going to be in that situation.
Well, it could, but it won't.
Yeah. There you go. Maybe in Jefferson there won't be any droughts.
That's a good possibility.
Plenty of water. All right, so I listened last week, but I had the day off, so I didn't get to participate.
And you told me that was with pay.
Yes, actually.
Double pay.
It was double pay. It was a holiday because it was Mother's Day, so I got double pay that day. But I didn't have to come into work.
Okay.
I haven't spent any of my double pay yet. Not sure how that's going to work out for me, but
You're in trouble, Jason.
Yeah, I'm always there. So,
but I did manage to get the kitchen cleaned up.
On Mother's Day.
Well, the kids and I made her breakfast, and we destroyed the kitchen. So we left that part for her to do because we figured we made the mess. So, somebody else, we're living in that, that time and place of, well, somebody else should be responsible for it. So that's how we left it at home.
It's kind of like when our lawnmower broke and we went a week without mowing it, and you were just so embarrassed about art. And I had people over and like, no, you didn't invite people over. Look at my lawn. That's okay. We were just waiting for the government to come mow it for us. It never happened. We had to go buy a new lawnmower.
I know. We had to buy our own,
Yep.
Yeah, Kieran got a new lawnmower. He was really excited about that.
Yeah, it was nice and fun.
So we need to pick up where we left off last week. I wasn't listening to the whole thing. I was teaching Kieran some stuff in here. We had our mic turned down. So did we get caught back up to where we were last week then?
We haven't got into what went over last week. So let's recap what was talked about last week, and then we can move forward with some.
Okay. Well, one of the things we talked about was why I got involved in running for supervisor to begin with, and that was because 2 years ago when this initiative was put before the water agency, they illegally denied the people the right to vote on the initiative.
Yes, this is where we wanted to go.
And what happened in that was that a group of people formed their committee, and I think it was 5 or 6. I don't know who all was involved, but they put together an initiative, as is required by law. They took it to the Yuba County clerk, and they had title and summary done by the clerk. She gave the initiative back to the committee. They took it out and collected the signatures. At that point, the water agency said, wait a minute, we should be the one to do title and summary. They'd never done one before, and they haven't done one since, but they wanted the right to do it. So they went to a judge in Sacramento and got the okay to do title and summary. And it was not a back and forth thing. It was an agreement to do that, and the proponents didn't have anything to say about this. So anyway, they get the right by the judge to do title and summary. Then the group takes their initiative again and starts all over, goes to the water agency and says, we'd like to have you do title and summary. The water agency slapped the judge in the face and the proponents and said, we deny it, which is illegal. They cannot deny it. And so they killed that people's right to vote on that initiative. Now, the way an initiative is supposed to work.
So the water board killed the initiative.
Correct.
Yes.
So the people who sit on the water board, now we're getting somewhere. So the people who sit on the water board are the Yuba County supervisors, all 5 of them, correct?
Correct.
And then 2
Plus
others.
2. That's
Plus
right.
2.
Yes.
Plus 2. So if the Yuba County supervisors decide, last time I looked, a vote of 2 against 5 doesn't work out. That's usually a loser.
But it was a 7-0 vote.
Okay, but it was a 7-0 vote.
Right.
So now you have them being dictators of what's going to happen with the water board.
That's correct.
In a nutshell. Okay. All right, keep going. I just want to clear it up as we go.
And just looking
'Cause
over,
I'm simple-minded.
looking over the election code, I don't see anything in there where it says that the Yuba County Water Agency has the right to squash an initiative. And for all practical means, they could have gone judge shopping.
Yeah. Okay.
That just seems like a huge conflict of interest to me, that they're going to squelch out the people's voice and just basically step up and say, well, it's up to us. We're going to make the decision for you. We know what's best.
And 5 of them were elected by the people.
All 7 of them were.
All 7 of them were. So even the ones that are sitting on the water board are elected.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
You have 5 supervisors, and then you have at-large person from north of the Yuba River and an at-large south of the Yuba River.
So
they're all voted in by the people.
So when do they come up for election?
Well, 4 of them, 4 out of the 7, have already been replaced.
Okay.
So you've got Andy and Randy and Brett Hasty are the 3 that have not been replaced. And Andy and Randy are up for election right now.
Well, you're going to take Randy's spot. That's what we already know that.
It's done deal.
I wished I could say that I know that, but I guess I really can't say that I know that. But it's looking that way, and we're going to take a straw poll on Monday night. The Tea Party is going to be taking a straw poll, so maybe we can secure that up a little bit more and make sure that that's the way that's going. Because this is crazy that these guys are there and did this and squashed the people's voice and are still elected servants out there running around after they decided to squash the people's voice. And this is the kind of stuff we really need to get down to the nitty gritty on. Is they're the ones who did this. They're the ones who squashed the voice. Well, guess what? The people are coming, and you better be paying attention.
Let me give you another way of looking at this, too.
Okay.
Because you don't even have to take my word for anything we're talking about. This is very clear. The county clerk recorder has been in that office for 16 years. She's a professional when it comes to initiatives. This isn't her first rodeo. It is the water agency's first rodeo, but it isn't hers. So she approved it. It was ready to be put on the ballot. Just think about that. This isn't me. This is the county clerk versus the water agency. And the water agency, can you see how solid this thing is? The clerk said, I approve this. I'm ready to give it to the voters. Put it on a ballot. And the water agency says, no, we've decided that it is illegal. Now, the way the process is supposed to work is you go to get your title summary, you put it out, you get your signatures, and you bring it back, and it gets on the ballot, and then it goes to the people to vote. The people vote it down, it's a dead issue, it's over. But if the people vote for it, that's the point where you can have a legal challenge after the vote. And the lawsuit, Schmidt versus somebody, says these issues are too complicated for a ministerial group to make that decision. Only the courts can listen to both sides and make that decision. It's got to be the courts. They don't have the power to kill the people's initiative. And so you can see what got me involved in this. You can't stand still for this.
No, you can't. No.
And that's exactly why I think we're giving it so much of a voice, is because we speak for the people. We're the passionate voice of the people.
Well, are the majority of the people?
I've heard that one somewhere.
Yeah.
Of this, or how did this, I guess, get to this point where the supervisors thought that they could get away with this?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a couple things. One is apathy, and it's also a very difficult issue to understand. And
That's kind of what I was getting.
And the trying to understand this is partially the news media to get the information out. But think about it. I've been putting an ad in my paper every week since I started running that tells little segments of this. Think about what you'd have to do to educate the people on this issue. But the scary part is this is a $1 billion operation, the Yuba County Water Agency. And if they violate your rights like they did, what do you do to get that back? Mm-hmm. You can't afford to start a lawsuit at $200,000. So when they've got that much money behind them, it's very, very difficult to get your rights protected.
Well, and who controls the purse strings of that? The water board agency? So the 7 that sat on it?
Yes.
Wow. That's really scary that they would violate the people's rights to keep it, and then it be that kind of money. So how does the money get accounted for? Do they account for the money themselves?
The money for
that's coming from the
sale of the water?
Sale of the water.
Yes. They're the broker for this. So they're the one that deals with the state. They get the money, and then they take 15% off the top for administrative costs, and then the rest is given to the different water districts, and then they disperse it to the pumpers, is the way I
think Randy's saying a light bulb's coming on.
So they
No,
need,
my head was exploding.
they need 50% more than the church to run it.
I did say 15%, not 50.
15, yeah.
Well, the church only wants 10%.
Oh, gotcha.
So 15% is
Gotcha.
50% more, yes.
So 15%. So the actual water agency keeps 15% of the money.
Correct.
Are
Okay.
they accountable to show what they do with that?
Yeah, that's what my next question was going to be. Are there some kind of audit reports that we can be looking at?
Well, I'm sure they are, because all public entities have to have an audit once a year. So I'm sure there are. I would say that the 7-person board should be an oversight on what's going on. That's part of their job, as I see it.
But the whole problem is that they've already squashed the people's rights once. I don't trust them to be their own oversight board.
I got a feeling, too,
That's
that there's
right.
some people somewhere right now kind of fidgeting in their chairs a little bit and maybe scratching.
I'd imagine there's somebody pounding the desk going, "You don't have a dog in the fight."
But
Where's my
here's,
dog?
I want to make this point, is that this is why we need to speak up for, when we see that somebody's rights are not being represented or being infringed upon, that's when people like us step in and bring a light to it. Because, yeah, it doesn't directly affect me, but I'm a person in this, I'm a citizen with rights, and I, would be, if I were living over there, I would be impacted, and I would appreciate other people stepping in and speaking on my behalf.
The
What makes
minute you'll let somebody else's rights be trampled,
Yeah.
yours can be trampled.
It makes you
just
wonder
as
what's
easy.
next.
Right.
Yep,
And that's why you have a dog in the fight, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if it's government and it's secret, it ain't good, and I'm going to be there to
I think my dog's got
ruffle some
fleas.
feathers. All right, so now we've got that the Yuba County Water Agency gets to keep 15%. How much money are we really talking on average per year coming in?
I don't know that figure
Okay.
on year. It as an average, I have some information on one of the districts,
Okay.
but I don't know what it is overall. But it's millions of dollars.
Okay, so let's say it's even just $10 million.
I think Shintaffer Farms in Hallwood made a little over $5 million over a 3-year period. And one of those years when we had a lot of rain, it was a very low figure.
Okay.
So I think they made $5 million plus in 3 years, and that was below average.
And that's one.
And
one
that's
of the-
just
one of the pumpers?
That's just one, yes. And there's over 100.
So we're talking a big number.
But don't let me confuse it, because each farmer gets a different amount.
I get you.
So
I'm not confused there.
Yeah.
I'm focused in on that 15% now that our Yuba County Water District Board is keeping. I'm focused in on that 15%. I want to put a number to the 15% because everybody, a 1% sales tax, nobody seems to be affected by. 15% is only 14% more. Simple math. It doesn't sound like a lot of money, but folks, whenever you're dealing with millions and hundreds of millions, it becomes a lot of money really, really fast. And if that's the people's money that's in control of 7 people, it's not a good situation for you. You're getting the short end of the stick. I promise, some way, shape, or form, you're getting the short end of the stick. Now, so we understand now that they get 15%. What do they get to do with that 15%? The 7 that are on the water board.
Theoretically, it goes for administrative costs. And you know how that works. Every government entity has administrative costs that they charge. But I think the best way I can answer your question is that under the Agency Act that it was formed under, every bit of money that they spend has to have a nexus to water.
Okay.
So, for example, when we had the homeless mess out here by the river, the water agency gave the county, I'm going to say $300,000, I don't remember what it was, to clean up that mess because it was along a waterway.
Yeah, but the whole thing is about everything you can boil down to water. I mean, we're made up of 97% water people. Mm-hmm. So I mean, everything boils down to water. So and I heard that, and make sure I'm not just throwing this out there. So it's my opinion that I heard that Randy Fletcher bought his district a new fire truck because it could service the fire area around Bullard's Bar. Correct?
Almost. He was able to get the water agency to give the fire department $100,000 towards the purchase of a new fire truck.
Okay. So 100,000 is a pretty good chunk.
Right.
And he did that on an election year.
Among others, yes.
Okay. So do you have $100,000 running your election that you can just give away?
I'd have to check with my bookkeeper.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that most people don't. I
don't either.
And if you're willing to try and give away that kind of money to win an election and stay on the water board, something's a little fishy here going on. Sorry, I mean, I'm just calling it like I see it, and it's my opinion. And you know what? I'm going to probably get some backlash for it, but that's my opinion. That's the way I see it.
Well, here's the questions that start popping up in my mind is the people that are benefiting now from that new equipment that he was able to procure for them. Are these people his big donors? Because that's where my mind would be going at this point. I would be looking toward who's benefiting in that area, and are those people donating to his campaign?
I don't think that any of them are big donors there. I think that he has some pumpers that are giving him some big donations. But this is a local fire department nonprofit organization, and I might be naive, but I don't think there's any really big money in that operation. I think it's more of when you put it in the newspaper, Randy Fletcher is saying, this is one of the things we do, and
Look at me.
He
Look
gets
at
a little
me.
free press of being giving other people's money away.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at
Well, I
me.
know he's had some meet and greets up there in the foothills, hasn't he? Isn't he, Randy? You were following that for a little while. He was having some meet and greets up in the foothills.
That's
and
what I was told.
I'm
I didn't go to any of them. I should have.
They were by invitation only.
Oh, that's why I didn't go.
That's nice.
Follow the
I
money.
didn't. I got to look in the mail. I hadn't get mine.
I didn't get one.
This is very interesting, and I mean, and so then you've got Andy Vasquez, who also sits on the board, who we've been actually, pushing for to get, and I still think he's the best out of the three that are running for his position. I mean, you've got the other two little Nazis that are running around trying to get elected, but that's exactly what they are, as Nazis. So, my opinion, but so the problem is though, if you take Andy out of the picture, he's one vote that sits on the board. If we can get some other votes in there, his vote isn't going to mean a whole heck of a lot. And maybe we can hold his feet to maybe he'll see the light. Maybe me and him will start to agree rather than agree to disagree.
Agree with you?
Dreamweaver.
I don't think anybody can agree with you.
I'd like to ask something about the farmers, and is the water that they get determined by the amount of land that they own, or land that they actually farm, or how do they determine that?
I believe that the water districts have a certain amount of acre feet as water rights, and then how they distribute it to the farmers, I'm not quite sure. But in the one I was just telling you about, Shintaffer Farmers, which is part of Hallwood
I know.
Irrigation, out of that money, and I forget what the total dollar was, but Shintaffer got over $5 million, and water agents, or the Hallwood Water District, I think they got $300,000. They were the lowest of all. You had four pumpers in the Hallwood Water District that got money from the water bank, and
Now, not all of them are the same mine. Charlie Matthews was one of those,
Right.
but he wanted the initiative to go through.
right, and I think he had. Do you remember what it was?
It was less than 200,000.
Yeah, 168,000, I think, is what he got. Well, Shintaffer's got $5 million plus.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question, Randy?
Yeah, I was just wondering if they got allotted water by how much they own, it'd almost pay not to farm it and just get the water and sell it.
Well,
Subsidization.
It's just something to look into.
I've been told that it has not happened yet where a farmer receives subsidies for not growing a crop and also was able to sell water. I understand that has not happened.
Okay. Good.
Because I know they get subsidies from the government not to grow crops.
Right.
And that's what he's saying is
Yeah.
right now he
Yeah.
doesn't know of anybody that's got a subsidy not to grow and then could still pump the water and sell just the water. So they're double dipping. That hasn't happened yet. So yet,
Or that
Yeah.
we know of.
or that we know of.
Right.
So I just can't get this off my plate. So the 15% that they're getting is we got to figure out how much that is. I want to know. I want to put a number to this for next week to figure this out, to figure out how much 15% is, because this is going to be. I have an idea in my head that this is going to floor everybody in Yuba County of what
yeah.
that 15% is that's being held.
Who would be the one to audit that?
The water agency has,
Themselves?
well, I think I think by law they have to have an outside auditor.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be public information, right? It's a public
Right.
entity.
Absolutely.
So it shouldn't be that hard to find out. All it's going to take is Tammy pulling it up right there on our iPad probably, and we're going to know what the 15% is.
Google.
And but the interesting thing that I'm finding is there's this 15%, and I've heard, and I'm going back through my files. I'm pulling out files right here. I know I've heard Andy say, "You don't understand it. It's a court deal. You have nothing to do with it. There's nothing you can do about it." I know I've heard him say that. But if he said that, in my opinion, is what he said, then guess what? It was by their force that made it a court deal that public has no right to it. So Andy's got a lot to be answering for the next time I see that guy.
Well, Randy talks the same way at some of the meetings I've been to. It's amazing the balance on that top of that fence they can do. They won't jump off on one side or the other.
Yeah, but Andy says it as a normal rate. Randy would take 3 days to get it out.
What are you talking about?
let me shift gears now.
Let me show you.
Well, could I jump in here for just a second?
Yeah,
Along those same lines,
definitely.
we had a candidates night last week in Oregon House, and it was very well attended. There was well over 200 people there, as far as I can tell.
Oh, that's awesome. We missed that
And
somehow.
the last question that somebody asked was, how does this, if you were a board member, how does this legality come down? Which way would you vote on the initiative? And I got to be the last one to answer it, which was perfect for me. But when it went to Randy, Randy said, "Folks, I'm not an attorney, and John's not an attorney. If you want to know why this is legal, go to the Browns Valley Irrigation District website, and they have the legal opinion there." So when I got it, were you there, Randy?
No.
I said, "Yes, folks, I would ask you to go to the Browns Valley Irrigation District website, because what you have is a legal opinion from the water agency, from the water agency attorneys that work for Randy and the rest of the board members. It's a one-sided legal thing." And so, yeah, you could go there and read it, but you have to have an open enough mind to understand that that is a legal opinion on one side of an issue, and that's why the courts have to be involved.
But that's what he does.
Wow.
I mean, that's is get away from answering things like that.
But the whole thing is there's no, they're there for the people. There's none of that. It's like, neener, I'm in charge, and you don't know, you can't do anything about it.
If you don't have the money to hire an attorney, you can't do anything about it.
Well, guess what, Randy? This is going out to you, buddy. Randy Fletcher. The people have a right to vote, and they're going to vote. And I hope to God they just give you the boot, buddy. I really, really, really do. Because guess what? Statements like that are not the way you run for a political office. Sorry. We're still in charge. We're still in the driver's seat. You're the car. We're the driver, buddy. And I think you're going to learn a hard lesson here in about 20 days.
So I came across something interesting. This isn't what I was looking for because there's no money talked about in this report.
The things you find. Though.
I know. The 2016-2017 Annual Measurement and Monitoring Report put out by the Yuba County Water Agency. And there's no numbers other than acre feet.
Oh, good.
Give us water.
Give us the acre feet.
Well, I scrolled past that. What I came down to is down here, Table A, Summary of Implementation Progress. Action items. Action item number 51 says pursue outside funding to assist in improving available tools and models to support groundwater management. So apparently they're needing of some money because they're going to pursue outside funding, and they're going to, it says in comments section, it says in 2016 Yuba County Water Agency successfully completed a local groundwater agency grant utilizing to develop groundwater model of the North Yuba, South Yuba, and Wyandotte groundwaters. So they're actively pursuing grants because apparently they're so underfunded.
So 15% isn't enough.
15% apparently is not cutting it.
Okay, Kieran knows about this much about politics, and he's in here going cross-eyed about why they need to get a grant to get money.
Yeah, great googly moogly.
So does it have the acre feet, though, that they sold?
You know, not in those direct terms, but let me go back to, there's all kinds
Because
of
I'm
graphs.
wondering if we can take the acre feet, times it by the lowest amount of money, we have a baseline starting point.
But you know that this is not their only source of income.
It just keeps
Wow.
getting better.
Oh, dang.
Because, they have power generation.
Okay.
So,
And they sell to other districts.
well, yeah. Well, up until the bonds were paid off, PG&E ran the power generation part. But in the last couple of years, the water agency has taken over power generation revenues from PG&E when the bonds got paid off. So that's another source of income. And I don't know what their other sources are, but there's a couple different sources of income.
Well, apparently they need some grants too to keep things rolling over there because it's just
I think
happy hour.
anytime you can bring grant money home to your own area. I mean, we all pay too much in taxes and stuff anyway. So if we can get some of that back, I'm for getting it back into our local area.
I agree, but the only problem with grants that scares the crap out of me is every time you get a grant, there's strings attached.
Absolutely.
There's some kind of string pulling that's going to go on that you have to meet to get those grants. That bothers me. I agree with you, though. It is our money, and we shouldn't be sending out anyways. But the fact is, we do. But my problem with grants is anytime we go into grants, it's very, very scary because you don't know what strings are attached. And I think, if you're going to go for grants, if a county or a city is going to go for grants, they ought to make it very clear what strings are attached to the people for those grants, and then decide with the people whether those grants are viable or not. Because you know what? I don't care about a turnabout in the in the middle of Yuba City. Where do I live? I'm thinking Sacramento all the time. I live in Yuba City, and I don't care about a turnabout in the middle of town. And they're getting a grant to figure out whether they need it or not. No. Let's not get a grant to figure out if we need it.
We need to slow that traffic down.
Exactly. I don't need to be slowed down, I promise.
I always have mixed feelings about grants because on the one hand, it's still taxpayer money. And yes, you have the argument, well, if it doesn't come to our community, it's just going to go to another community. But just like when you have the budget and, if your department doesn't use all the money in your budget, well, then it doesn't get rebudgeted next year. You lose that. So I understand the use it or lose it philosophy. And not everybody's going to be, of the mindset, well, we shouldn't be wasteful. So let's just not even apply for the grant unless it's, I don't know. People just don't think like me.
Well,
I'm not wasteful.
I've got a little article here. It says the district supplies 60,000 acre feet to the farmlands of water. Does that sounds a little low to me?
That sounds way low.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this report, it's like separated out per district of what each district is getting. So it's really not.
Oh, here's another one. It says each year the Yuba County Water Association supplies about 300,000 acre feet
There you
of
go.
water to 8 local water districts.
Wow. Yeah. So now you're getting into some dough. So, all right, we're gonna have to figure this out and get back to them on actual price and where that's going, because that's gonna be a lot of money.
Yeah, we want to know what the 15% is and why it's not enough.
Yeah. That's a good point. Also,
It's never enough.
Just grow into
You
it.
can never have enough money.
all right, I'm gonna take us into our break. I've got a few ads that I got to play real quick, and that'll take us into the we're at the top. We're not there yet. Never
We're
mind.
not there yet.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the clock wrong. Yeah, whatever.
So I'm Googling and searching, trying to find that accounting for all that money. And here's, brought to my attention again, because you're talking about the 2017 wildfire property tax. I think there was a proposed property tax, or maybe it was already implemented or something, for the wildfire relief. And that's something that, could benefit from that water money, to benefit the property owners that are dealing with, extenuating circumstances like that, being in a wildfire area. No, just a thought. Just came across it.
How are you feeling, John, about your campaign right now? Are you feeling pretty good? Are you
I
feel
am,
the people?
but I've also felt that way before and was wrong. So I haven't done any polling or anything. I'm doing what I can with the time I have. I'm just doing the best I can, and we'll find out on June 6th. But I'll tell you, having had the territorial dispatch for the last 18 years, I'd say for probably the last 10 years, I go to work in the morning, I do what I do with the territorial dispatch, go to meetings, report on some of them, and then I go home and do work at home. So I've been kind of a hermit in some ways as far as getting out. Well, with this campaign, I've been getting out and meeting people and talking to people, renewing old acquaintances, and it's been an extremely positive thing. So I have had almost no pushback or problems from this campaign. It's been very, very positive. So I'm feeling very good about it, but I don't have anything to back that up other than my feelings.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it because I think you're the man for the job. I mean, and having the territorial dispatch is awesome. And you're not going to give that up if you get elected, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good. Because we know, it might be state-run media to some, but to us, it's the only honest media.
It's the only one I read.
Exactly. and it's not that at all. I mean, you guys keep a very, very good spin on it, but also keep honest. I mean, it is what it is, and it's very refreshing to read, other than the slant that we get from the appeal demo, whatever it is.
If you do get elected, you probably won't be invited to sit on many boards.
We'll just have to see, I guess.
See how that runs down.
Yeah.
I actually think that when we get past the election, if I'm on the board, I think we'll all work towards the same goals, or at least that'll be my goal too.
Yeah.
And I think that things will be just fine.
I think you'll be just fine. I really do. I just, that getting there is usually a little bit harder than we all think. I thought I was there once for sure. Actually, I was for about 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, something like that.
They just got snatched away.
Yeah. Oh, well, I found out that I really didn't have enough time anyways, I think. So, because I don't have time to go to boards and committees and more boards and more committees. And no. All right, I'm going to take us out and let everybody say goodbye to John. Thank you so much, sir. We greatly appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, thank you.
This apathy thing, this is what you're doing here, is one way to start getting people interested, because a lot of things go on that you just never hear about. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just don't hear about them. You wouldn't have heard about this if I wasn't running, probably.
Exactly.
Probably, yeah.
No, we wouldn't have. We would have been told that we were not smart enough to grasp it. and the fact is whenever you take and times acre feet to a dollar amount and then take that and divide it by the 15%, I get a pretty good feeling for what's going on and why it's being controlled by 7 people.
So if you don't know what's going on and you're wandering around town or any of the counties, local 4 counties, and you see a territorial dispatch, snatch it up and make it a regular habit, because that will inform you of the things that are somewhat questionable in the area.
If you want the real news.
Yes. Mm-hmm. By people who aren't afraid to print it.
Mm-hmm. If you don't want to hear just one side of an issue, like we commonly get with our other choice in the area.
But then you don't have to think very much.
I know. They just take that whole process away from you. They don't want you to have to trouble yourself to have to think too much.
Thinking hurts my brain.
That's the problem with your age group.
Can't think anymore, just see.
All right, guys. I'm going to play some these. And thank you so much again, John, for coming out and talking to us.
My pleasure.
And filling everybody in.
This is Yuba County Sheriff Steve Durfer. I fully endorse Captain Brandon Barnes to be your next Sutter County Sheriff. I've worked with Captain Barnes for over 20 years. Brandon is a graduate of the prestigious FBI National Academy. He was our former SWAT commander and chief of investigations, and now holds one of the highest positions in law enforcement as jail commander. He leads and manages a staff of over 80 personnel and an inmate population of almost 400. Folks, Your sheriff is the top law enforcement officer in the county. Experience and character are critical. That's why 13 active California county sheriffs, including myself, endorse him. I am beyond confident that Captain Barnes has the skills, the temperament, and the vision to lead Sutter County. I believe this is the most important vote on your ballot. I encourage you to vote Brandon Barnes for Sutter County Sheriff.
Paid for by Brandon Barnes for Sutter County Sheriff 2018.
This is former Yuba County Sheriff Gary Tyndall. In my 40-year career in law enforcement, all three of the candidates for sheriff have served under my command. I can honestly say that Jeff Pierce is the best and most qualified to be the next Sutter County Sheriff.
I agree. This is former Sutter County Sheriff Jim Denny. Without question, Jeff Pierce is the right choice for sheriff. Jeff has the experience needed to run the sheriff's office, tackle homeless problems, defend Second Amendment rights, and keep our families safe.
This is Sutter County Under Sheriff Jeff Pierce. I am honored by the support of retired sheriffs Gary Tyndall and Jim Denny. I am also proud to have earned the support of our Sheriff Paul Parker, Sacramento Sheriff Scott Jones, former Sutter Sheriff Art Granwood, radio host and former Sheriff John McGinnis, and retired CHP Commissioner Maury Hannigan. More importantly, I am asking for your support because as Sheriff, I will work for you.
Paid for by Pierce for County Sheriff 2018.
Are you tired of buying holsters that don't fit and are uncomfortable to wear, making you take it off halfway through the day? Liberty Holsters has the holster you've been looking for. With 6 years of experience designing Kydex holsters for law enforcement and the shooting community, Liberty Holsters has taken their suggestions and implemented them to create the most comfortable, adjustable, and adaptable holster on the market. Each holster is handmade here in the Yuba Sutter area using the best U.S.-made materials in the industry. Each holster is perfectly molded around the individual model of handgun for a perfect fit and positive retention to hold your handgun in place. The cant, ride height, and retention are adjustable so you can achieve your optimal carrying comfort. They offer holsters for the most popular carry guns and do custom holsters as well. Liberty Holsters offers an unlimited lifetime warranty and a 30-day... Hold up to your expectations? Right Side Gear has what you need. This Yuba Sutter area business puts customer service first. Joe at Right Side Gear has 12 years in the EMS field and knows the need for dependable gear. All of their gear is designed and made locally with the best USA-made materials available in the industry that meet or exceed mil-spec standards, giving them the ability to stand behind what they make. They offer a wide variety of tactical gear and also accept custom orders and repairs. They've designed and tested complete individual first aid kits. Their tear-off IVACs have everything you need and a low-profile design that easily attaches to your current MOLLE gear or the headrest of your vehicle. They also offer a pocket med kit that contains the bare necessities for severe bleeding. Right Side Gear carries a complete line of tourniquets, hemostatic agents, chest seals, and anything else you may need if the unthinkable happens. Find them on Facebook or email Joe at rightsidegear.net. Gear up right with Right Side Gear.
Well, you know who it's time to talk about now.
What? I thought that was for the Board of Supervisors.
No, that's the City Council.
Oh, now it's the City Council.
It's board of any group, any group of elected servants. It's kind of their
Sweet Life,
yeah,
Stinky and the gang.
Yeah, and the gang over there at City Hall.
Yeah.
I would like to thank John for coming in and talking with us. He's a wealth of information, and we really got to get him into office.
Yes. He really does. He's got to get elected into office because you know what? He will be a voice for the people. I really believe that he will be on top of it and, you know, doing what's right for the people, not what's going to line his pocket and get him elected again next time.
He's not a fence walker. That's
No,
for sure.
no, he's not. He'll choose a side and stick with it, buddy. And you know what? You know what I like about a guy like that is you're not always going to see eye to eye, but the fact is
That's
you
all
know
right.
you know where he stands, and he stands firmly there, and that's really what we need. I mean, that's really, really, really what we need in office is somebody who's going to listen to the people and act on their behalf, not what he believes is best for the people, because, well, he said.
Or his buddies.
Yeah, I've had too much of that. I know what's best for you.
Yeah, I really, really like that guy. You know, he gave really good information and everything. You know, I don't know much about politics, so I mean, it's really good to hear him. And
Well, you got an education today, didn't you?
Yeah. And then it's better to be a doer, not a thinker.
There's a time and a place.
There's a little bit for both, Kieran. You think before you do.
Well, it depends. Do you want to be a Democrat or Republican?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. You're already registered.
Yep,
You're registered.
registered Republican.
Yep, you're registered as a Republican.
And what's interesting is Kieran's 18 this year, so it will be his first time voting. Who are you voting for sheriff?
I'm voting for Brandon Barnes. I have really met him personally and one-on-one with him, and he is a very, very good candidate. I really like him.
Good choice, yes.
So good, you'll cancel out my vote.
What? Who are you voting for?
Jeff Pierce.
What? We thought it was just Tom.
No.
Well, I'm not going to vote for either one of them. How's that? Because I can't.
Well, a vote for either one of them is a no vote for Hout.
Yes.
So guess what? I don't want somebody who really, 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 really wants to be sheriff because I really, really want to be sheriff. And I know I would be absolutely no good in that position.
And I want to come in your house and inspect your safe.
Well, no, he started backing down from that.
Oh, he's back down
He's
from
back down. You haven't heard that comment again. You only heard it the one time, and then we kind of got on him. And that's why we're here. We're pointing out things that there's an issue with what you just said. And he's now changed how he says it.
Like 3 or 4 different times.
Yes.
Now have an issue with how many times he's changed it. So you can't win with me, apparently.
No, but you know what? That's why we're here to put the pressure on.
Exactly.
We're here to put the pressure on so we can change your line of thinking to align more with our line of thinking.
Speaking of that, real quick, you know, we do have, let me see here. Where am I? Okay, I guess I don't have it. I thought I did. No, okay, forget it. Never mind. Just keep going. I'll find it here in a
Just
minute.
keep going. Well, let's go on to the
Well, hang on.
to the city council.
What I wanted to say was, I wanted to reinforce with everybody that we do have sheriff coming up. That's the biggest vote coming up right now on June 5th. And that is going to be between Brandon Barnes and Jeff Pierce. There is a third one out there. Wow, what is his name?
His name escapes me at the time.
I don't know.
I think it's I.
I. Well, but I do have this for him. This is for our.
Ooh, this
It
other guy.
wouldn't be a full days without speaking of Dennis Haug's song. I'll play Jeff's and Dennis's. I mean Jeff and Brandon's later, but this is Dennis Haug's
I like
song.
your tribute to Dennis Haug.
So this is our tribute to Dennis Haug for the day. We just want to play this real quick for you, Dennis, because we know that you are a big-time traffic.
Big deal traffic cop.
Big deal, big-time traffic cop. Either one. Here we go. This is for you, buddy.
Oh, my uniform is so neat as I walk along the street, dressed so nicely from my bottom to the top. All the motorists in sight are incredibly polite, cause they know that I'm a big deal traffic cop. My buttons as nicely shined. And what have we here? Oh, parked in a loading zone. When a motor car I finds in a set of yellow lines, I just purses up my lips all thin and tight. First I scribbles out a ticket, tears it quickly out and lick it. Then I plucks it on the car with all my might. But the best thing that I like is to sit upon my bike, waiting carefully behind the nearest tree. When a car comes shooting past, I just gives my horn a blast. When I chase her, oh, there's just no stopping me.
All right.
We all have our little dance now.
Yes, we do.
We all have our little dance.
Well, I'm sitting here rapping my throttle on my bike as I see me coming by in my Corvette, zipping by. He's going to be waiting for me one day at the bridge. Oh, my phones are lighting up. People like that.
I'll never feel the same on my motorcycle again.
Oh.
And for the text message I received, he's done with his noisy snack, so you won't hear that rustling anymore.
Okay. Well, yeah, people are lighting up our phones right now for the song. Everybody loves it. I mean, they like it.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he is a traffic cop, and it does fit. It's amazing. So, anyways, 3 candidates for sheriff. Like I say, biggest thing we got coming up, I think, in this election.
2 well-qualified candidates for sheriff.
Yeah, well qualified is not doing it justice. I think we're extremely lucky to have 2 candidates that are that qualified.
That well qualified.
Between Jeff Pierce and Brandon Barnes. I mean, we've got an undersheriff that is there now that is the undersheriff.
Mhm.
So he has done everything.
Yes.
We've got the other one that has done everything and more. Only thing Brandon hasn't done is the undersheriff, but you know what? I really like his age and I like his charisma.
Yep,
otherwise,
like his energy.
otherwise it's a no-brainer for me. Either one is fine.
Yeah.
And I'll be fine with either one. You know what? It is what it is.
Yep. And they all do check the box in the nice guy category, but you can't vote for someone just because you like them and they're a nice guy.
Exactly.
They got to be fit for the job.
Or they got their truck wrapped up and they're going to wear a uniform to work every day and a nice shiny new
Or you like
vehicle that says sheriff.
Yes.
So vote how you want to vote, but the fact is, if you're voting for experience and somebody who's going to be a well-rounded sheriff, Jeff or Brandon are the ones. I prefer Brandon. He's more my age. I think we see more eye to eye.
We're apparently split on this show. We've got 2 to 3 now. I thought it was 4 to 1, but apparently.
Oh no,
Randy can't vote. It's 2 to 2.
Oh
No, it
man,
isn't.
it even split.
I brought my shoe in right here by the collar.
Hey, you brought in a ringer.
So, all right, that's our sheriff bit for the day, but I just want to get that out there, and we may play the other one's songs.
Let's hear our other tributes to the other.
Okay,
to other-
well, here's
yes.
Jeff's. I got to dig Brandon's out. I haven't played it in a while.
It's
But
been a while since we've had him.
Here's Jeff's.
This is for
So
Very fitting.
I'll have to find Brandon's here in a little bit. I really like Brandon's also, but that's just a short snippet of Jeff's.
Okay, well, Recology is in.
Recology is in. I'm glad to see it. John, well, we'll just call him Johnny Rocket. You have a job, buddy.
Johnny Rocket.
You do not got to worry. I hope you're listening. Hey, we were worried about you, buddy, but no, you're good to go. So don't worry about it no more. Sweet Life isn't going to be going to any more basketball games, though, in the booth.
Darn it.
I don't know.
So-
you never know.
Yeah.
You know?
Darn.
Nosebleed seats for you.
Yeah. I don't even think he'll go if he has to pay for it himself. So, be interesting
So
to
yeah,
see.
there was that's very interesting introspect on how they voted and why they voted and why
Well-
it took so long and how many steps they went through and
Now, I know that you wouldn't call it a bribe whenever Republic Services gets up there and says, we got $1 million we're going to give you. I
Right
mean,
now.
the community. I mean, the community. I mean, the community.
He did clarify. He said, not you, to the community.
As he's
Not you.
As he's
Yeah.
pointing to Sweet Life. Not you.
Oh, as he's pointing to John Buckland, he's like, not you. I didn't mean it like that. That's funny. That was super huge.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, exactly. So
I've never seen that kind of negotiating tactic, though, not in a public forum like
I know,
that.
and then you get up and say, you know what? Here, we're going to offer it up one more time. That lady from Republic Services, we're going to offer it up one more time. $1 million to your community. I mean, really?
Wow.
Yeah, that was something else.
does anybody
you know-
bid 1.1?
and even me, I'm going, in my community, what do I get out of that? So you know our city council's got to be over there rubbing their hands going, what are we going to get? What are we going to get?
The next thing you know, they'll be wanting to take over the water.
That is next, the water.
So I am glad they finally came around to admitting that's what the outcome is. But the problem I have in getting to that outcome is the money that was spent on these consultants to ask what consultants thought about it.
Well, they had an answer for that because it saved you millions.
Yeah.
Saved you millions. You would just spend a few thousand.
That's exactly what Stan said. I'd rather
Yeah.
spend $20,000 now and save $1 million later than doing anything else.
20,000 here and 20,000 there. And pretty soon you're
It
talking about
wasn't-
real money.
Exactly. It wasn't 20,000. My last note was 78,000. Stan.
Yeah.
Come on, get
plus-
real with the numbers,
plus
buddy.
the time, and they didn't count the staff time. Of course, staff gets paid anyway, but you know, and then how many steps they went through. But it was all for our better good because it opened it up to the public.
Well, here's the thing, though. Aren't they supposed to go out to bid anyway? They have to.
Yes.
They have to put it out to bid. They can't just single out one company and have one company have it
Well,
without going out
yeah,
to
they can
competitive bid.
But you know, Stan said that we wouldn't really get this good of deal if it hadn't been put out to bid. And
But
so I'm
it
thinking
was-
Stan's just a really lousy negotiator.
But it would have gone to bid without the consultants being paid to tell us, well, you know, we really think you might want to just stay with who you got, Recology.
Who's going to pay him then?
Why did that have to happen? There was no benefit whatsoever.
Absolutely not.
Had no impact on the process. You may try to convince people it did, but it didn't.
And it was all open. There was no closed sessions or anything like there is when they negotiate the city employees' salaries. Oh,
Yes.
gee, hey, that's a thought. Why don't we put all the salaries, all the jobs for the city employees out to public, and we can do a little competitive bidding there?
Well, they are public. You
They
can
are
know their
public,
salaries. You just
We can
don't have a
know.
say
we
in
don't
what
have
they
a say in
should be.
how they do. Well, that seems odd.
You fall
I'm sure
asleep
there's a
or what?
law against
It happens.
it doing publicly.
Usually I'm sitting next to him and I can nudge him.
Oh, you're using
That's why you fell asleep.
I was looking for Brandon Barnes' song.
We need to give him signs. Looking. Found it.
You may have to email me through the glass.
Oh my goodness. No, that was it was good to finally get that out there and we can put it behind us. We didn't take the carrot of $1 million. Not sure where we would have spent all that.
Well,
I can tell you, we would have bought our own sweet box.
I like sweet.
I mean,
Buckland box.
the Buckland box. I mean,
Get
come
his little
on.
name on it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I would have known where we could have spent that money. I think I could spend $1 million faster than you can bat an eye.
Yeah, I got to give him a kudo. Yuba City did vote anti-sanctuary, so I'll give him a kudo on that.
You know why?
Well, it's election year.
It's an election year. We got to do it. The people really, really want it, and we don't know what else to do. And Stan's got to have a job. I don't think he's good at changing sheetrock anymore.
Sutter County supervisors, what are you doing? You're waiting till the last minute. Well, hey, the last minute is almost upon you. There's over 100 counties and cities that have jumped on this thing. There's 14 of them in the state of Jefferson.
All I know is I want to know what's going on with Bill. I had to turn your mic down.
I'm sorry. I'm getting passionate.
Are you one of those passionate voices of the people?
I am.
I was one of those once. My sign even said it.
Passionate voice of the people.
Uh-huh.
Familiar.
Who knew? It's still true.
So, hey, and sounds like we had a, beyond that, the Yuba City is doing other sneaky little things, putting out trial balloons,
Oh, yes.
Delphi questionnaires.
Well, I've been looking.
Are you talking about our own one for sale?
Our very own 1% sales tax.
I'm getting so excited because I want to have a dog in that
Oh,
fight.
man, you got a dog in that fight, baby.
I want one in that fight so bad.
Well, I keep watching the agendas, and I haven't seen it yet. It hasn't been Unless I've missed it.
No, it won't. It won't. They'll put it off till after this election.
Well, they were talking about having it on the November ballot. And so apparently, okay, I'm doing it again. I'm jumping ahead. Let me give some background because we've gotten the comment feedback, which is very helpful. Thank you. That we don't give enough intro to what we're talking about. So a survey was sent out earlier this year, February, March timeframe, to a select, and what I've come to find out, very few number of people. I happen to be one of the lucky few. They let that one slip by. Yes, they.
I got one, but Tammy stole it from me. Exactly.
You did not get one.
I think I got one. And
no,
she
you
stole
did
it.
not. It came to me. So I took the survey, and what the survey did, and this is what stuck out to me when I took the survey, was all the questions seemed to be worded to lead you in a certain direction, to get you in a certain line of thinking, so that when they popped the question, okay, well then, do you think that the city should go ahead and put on the ballot for this 1% sales tax because, well, you've obviously proven that it's needed. The city needs more money for these things that you've already stated they're lacking in these areas. And so it was very misleading. When you're wanting to say something, what do you want to say?
Well, that's like having a shoe store and you only have two sizes, 8 and 9, and you put out a questionnaire. Hey, do you have enough 8s or 9s in this city?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. Money doesn't grow on trees. We need more.
We need more. Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that I've always taken the stance of, you don't need more money. You need to better manage the money that you have.
Come on. Get off that horse, honey. You're always telling me that.
Yes. Mister, I live outside of my means.
I don't. I live within them. Just right at the skirts.
Just, yes. To the full extent.
Yeah.
Only you can print your own money.
Well, everybody needs a radio show. Everybody needs a few nice cars. Everybody needs a house with a pool. I mean, come on.
Everybody doesn't need a few nice cars.
Well, whatever. Everybody needs stuff.
You got a pool in the backyard full of water?
Yeah.
I'm going to sell that water.
I knew where you were going.
Okay, the bidding will start at...
I don't know what an acre foot is, but I don't think my pool holds an acre foot of water.
15%.
That's Kieran's stake.
Kieran's stake is 15%. He's going to negotiate a deal for you, baby.
Oh, he did learn something
Wait a minute.
today.
Is that based on housework contributions?
No, obviously.
Obviously not.
Oh, I wonder how much my pond is worth.
Oh, there you go.
Cha-ching. Yeah, I don't have a pond.
He doesn't have a pond. He doesn't have
It's called
any
a
water.
bird bath in the front yard.
Wow. Anyway, you know what I think I might do? Because I came across their survey results, and now I don't know how I got to. I don't know how I got this, but I saved it in my iBooks, and now I've managed to give it to you guys, and maybe we'll post it up on the Facebook.
You know what
page.
I did?
What?
I did something really nasty. I forwarded to John Mistler.
Yes, but he doesn't have a dog in this fight.
Oh, well.
This is a Yuba City 1% sales tax.
Yeah, but he'll be spending money in Yuba City.
So I gave the background.
He will?
We're getting off track, people.
Okay, sorry.
Mom's back in the room.
All right, go ahead. Get on with it.
So they set out this survey, and what it was leading to is they were trying to feel the people out to see how they were going to react.
They were trying to lead the people the way they wanted them to react.
Yeah, if it should happen that they would have on their ballot in November of 2018, would you support, a 1% sales tax in the city limits of Yuba City? And so I took the survey, and they've now recently put the results out of that survey. And surprisingly, a lot of the people that took the survey drank the Kool-Aid and were in support of taxing themselves 1%.
Well, we're getting down to size 8 and size 9. Half were asked about a version that could only be ended by the voters, and half were asked about a version with a 10-year sunset. None of them were asked about, hey, how about not having this?
Well,
Yeah. But my point is that I'm going to go ahead and I've been watching the agendas to see if they're going to bring this item forward to vote on it, to, go forward with putting it on the ballot. It's getting to a point where they probably need to make that decision. And it hasn't come up yet. But what we'll do is we'll post this on our Facebook page so you guys can see, because they did include the wording of the questions that were posed to the survey takers, and you guys can look for yourselves how they kind of lead you down a road. Yeah. And you can see for yourselves. Yeah, I think it does. I'm looking at it now, making sure that what I'm saying is true.
It's only hypothetical.
Yeah, it pretty much does put the questions in the survey of what we answered.
You're killing me, Smalls.
That's my favorite.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
They got other hypothetical measure notes done. They got a lot of hypotheticals in this survey.
Hypothetically, are you going to buy a new car this year? Because hypothetically, if you are, we're going to make a lot of money in the city with that 1% sales tax.
People are pretty happy, except for the roads.
Now, does the 1% sales tax, does that go into real estate?
Well, I don't know. If it does,
No.
Does that go into
It's
new
different.
cars?
It definitely goes into new
Well,
cars, so I
sales-
think the dealers might have a little bit of an objection to.
So it
the
goes into
1%.
new cars, and Dow Lewis. No, is it Dow Lewis?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no, I don't know
Dow
what their
Lewis.
limits are.
Cadillac. Cadillac sells Corvettes.
Wheeler. They're Wheeler.
Wheeler. So Wheeler sells Corvettes. So if you go buy a new Corvette for $80,000, and you get 1% sales tax on that,
On top of the 7
yeah,
and a quarter.
top of the 7.25, and $80,000, I'm going to Sacramento to buy my new vet because I can buy a new.
Because then you can pay 10% sales tax.
I thought that if you went down to Sacramento about it, they asked you what county you're from, and that's what tax they charge.
I think that is.
It
the way
is, because
goes
I
down.
just bought a truck
Yeah,
in
but
Sacramento.
They don't ask you that in
Oh, is
China.
that right?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
This is unbelievable. So they're going to get my money either way. Nice.
Sorry.
Are you
like
sure it
that.
works that way?
I know it works that way. I'm pretty sure.
It's your opinion, huh?
It's your opinion.
Wait a
it
minute, I
works
got to
that
get
way?
on top of that fence and think about it a minute.
No way, it can't go. Oh,
Yeah, because they asked me what county.
I'm going
live-
to lie. I don't live there anymore.
I said cluster. That's in Idaho.
They're going to be giving you money back then.
We'll pay you to buy your car here.
Oh, are you serious? So regardless, we're going to be paying that. There's no way that can work that way.
Well,
We need to find out.
First, it has to be on the ballot.
I got you.
Somebody send
But like
Joe Smith a text on that, please.
Don't worry, he's going to stir it up this week about it. Don't worry, I'm sure of it. He's over there with the what is that? The Feather River Tea Party right now, messing with them on some stuff. They're not supporting John Cox. They want to support Travis Allen.
Hey, he showed up for a barbecue. What the hell do you want?
What more do you want? He's in it for the long haul fight.
That's right.
Let's split the vote so then we don't get a Republican there at all. We get another Democrat. That'd be awesome, guys. You guys are.
I don't
you guys
even
are
think you can
thinkers.
call that guy a Democrat. I think you might as well just call him a communist.
A progressive. A progressive
That's way
communist.
too nice.
Yeah. Giving way too much credit there.
Well,
Basically, we will have to move.
Have you seen that commercial on
why are
TV?
you giving me that heads up like that? We're gonna move.
Wow.
That's like your
You
deciding
just got
factor.
notified.
Yeah, I think we may be hitching along with Randy to Idaho. But you know what? We've already got friends there, so maybe that is the way to go.
Who's your friend?
Well, he's not my friend. He's Tammy's friend.
My friend is Leslie.
I don't have any friends. Nobody likes me that well to call me a friend. I'm one of those guys that's acquaintance to everybody.
Oh my goodness.
So, back to Recology really quick. Let's lay that out there so everybody understands. On the 2017, it opened up for the to be voted on, right? That they knew it was going to go out to bid.
you're going back to, I don't have any of that paperwork in front of me. So I'm
Okay.
not prepared to talk about that whole, because if you go on our Facebook page and
Okay.
you scroll all the way down, you'll
Then-
see the
then-
beginnings of.
Then I'm going to just give everybody an update real quick, because this is what happened. It was going to go out to bid. It went out to bid. John Buckland decided that it would be a good time to start hanging out with Republic Services, one of the bidders that it was opened up to, and was going to games. And we don't know what he was actually doing. All we know for sure, it was going to the game in their suite with Republic Services.
John Buckland's got a little business there in town too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does the go-kart business.
I understand he's got a partner.
I've heard that, but I don't know who the partner is, so I don't want to speak on that.
No, I don't know either.
But it'd be interesting to find out. But the fact is, so he went to the game with Republic
Pretty darn
Services.
sure it's somebody's brother.
We uncovered it and put it up on our Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight page to show that he was doing suite time at the suite with Republic Services. I'm sorry, folks. The minute that we have a city councilman that is going out on the town with people who are doing a bid is just wrong.
Well-
It is wrong.
How the timeline happened was he posted on his Facebook page that he was doing suite time, SUITE, suite time, with Republic Services at the game.
King's game.
The King's game. And then it was like 10 days later.
14, I think.
Okay. 2 weeks later, there was a special council meeting. And in the minutes of that meeting, it stated that the council voted to go out to bid to gain the new provider of the garbage service. And so the timing was very unfortunate because Republic Services is one of the people who will be involved in that process.
The timing is very unfortunate, but then Republic Services is the same one who said, by the way, we'll give you $1 million for your city. So tell me they ain't used to buying stuff off. You know what, John? It looks bad, dude. I hope you're voted out. I hope they vote you out. I'm going to vote against you. I hope everybody votes against you. We need a replacement. You do not do that on behalf of the people and go out to lunch with somebody that you know is going to be giving a bid. Sorry, I don't even do that. I'm a project manager in the private sector. I'm allowed to do it, and I still don't do it. You know what, buddy? Get a clue. You did wrong. Apologize or move on. And
speaking of,
give up your seat.
You're being in the private sector in that perspective. You were looking at the comparative numbers between the bids that came back from Republic Services.
Yeah.
And so there was a proposed number, and then there was a negotiated number for both Recology and for
it's called shopping a bid.
Yeah, because you noticed the line item for the service that you use the most in what
for construction,
which is the takeoff
roll-offs
for the dumpsters.
Yep, I noticed that, and there was a $100 change on Republic Services side.
Yeah, from the original.
And then it
bid.
aligned with more the Recology side. Somebody shopped that bid. There's no doubt in my mind. Republic Services didn't drop their construction portion of their profits down $100 per roll-off because they thought it was a good idea without knowing. Somebody shopped the bid. Some inside information was changed, in my opinion, to drop that and shop that form.
Because here you have...
Now, that's my opinion, but I'm just telling you straight up, somebody shopped that bid.
Right.
Because, I'm sorry, you don't get that apples to apples and just buy a guess by golly. Somebody shopped that portion of the bid.
Stinky psychic. Maybe it was a psychic. Maybe it was a psychic feeling.
Well, he's in construction, and he's supposed to, well, he said he was in construction. He was a sheetrocker, but he's supposed to know how bids work, but we'll see. Anyways, that's what I saw there that was really, really hinky to me, was how that bid looked to be shopped.
So let me explain how that looked. So you had the bid number that came in from Republic Services was like about around 400, 430. Then you had the bid number that came in from Recology was around 300. Then the negotiated numbers came out, and the Republic Services was down to matching what Recology's was.
330 and 300.
Yes.
So how did they drop that one price on that one item by $100?
So exactly.
The Russians.
Collusion. I wouldn't say
Trump-
the Russian,
Trump
but
told them.
collusions, maybe. So,
that
anyways,
was something that just stood out.
Kind of interesting that stood out on that, and I've known people who have shot bids, and normally the bidders won't ever work with that company again. They're like, if you're going to shop my bid, a lot of time goes into processing a bid, and it's free. A lot of time. Randy's in there shaking his head. He knows what goes into putting a bid together for a project, and you get into these, $50, $60, $70 million projects. It gets expensive. Can you imagine whenever there's $300 million on the table?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, there isn't a cent or a penny missed. These people know exactly what they're doing, and if they could drop it by $100 for per roll off, somebody gave some inside information somewhere, is my opinion. But could not be. Maybe they just hit it right on the head and got that close. Who knows?
It's called a psychic hotline.
So, anyways, that's where we're at with that. I think we need what's interesting, folks, is this year we have 3 seats at the Yuba City City Council. You've not heard anybody come out and say they're running. Some people have made mention that that they've heard they're running. Who?
Sure.
Who?
There's been a few. Boom Garden.
Shaw.
Have they come out in public and said?
Yeah.
I think that was just.
No, I think it was public.
I don't think so. Okay. We agree to disagree.
Now.
We agree to disagree. Can you leave the building now? That's what happens when we agree to disagree with Andy Vasquez. You got to leave the building.
Darn it.
Anyways, so, okay, maybe there are a few. But the fact is there's 3 seats available this year. There's 5 people on the city council.
Oh.
So if you do a majority vote, 3 can run the roost. That means Manny and Sean Harris are null and void. Their votes don't even matter. If we can get 3 real conservatives in there, we could change some stuff and get something in there that could change the city and for the better. So I'm hoping everybody's paying attention, because apparently from what we've heard is there's going to be like 11, 12, 13 people running for city council.
A lot.
Man, you still got all those signs, right?
You know who else has come out and publicly announced, because she has a Facebook page, was that person they brought in to the area to run for supervisor?
Grace
Espindola. Yes.
Okay.
And you definitely
Not a conservative.
Not a conservative.
Well, but my thing is, folks, is you've got a chance to change something this go round. And the neat thing is 12 people running, 10 people running. That's enough to where 3,000 to 4,000 votes takes a seat. So I want everybody to think about that. 3,000 to 4,000 votes takes a seat. That's not a lot. That's a few you and a few of your friends and a couple of their buddies. And it doesn't even got to be your close friend that ended up in jail with you. It's just one that come bail you out. It would be, enough to change this thing.
And be aware of people that say they're conservative and they are not. They might portray themselves as on the conservative side, as I believe one of them did. I won't mention any names.
Yeah.
I really want to.
We will when it gets down to it. How's that?
And I can prove it. But
yeah. And that's the thing is really, really do your homework, because it's a big year for city, not so much for the county. We got one county supervisor that's running unopposed, and then we've got the other for District 2. Am I correct?
3.
District 3. Dang it. I thought I was so close. I thought I was going
You
to have it all
are.
right.
You were only one number off.
Oh, then I'm good enough.
If you get real close,
we got Sigemeyer and we got Burt Manuel.
No, I don't.
And those are the 2 that are running.
Want to thank Mike Sigemeyer. Randy and I and Larry went out. When was that? Friday? No, Saturday. No, Friday.
Okay.
Friday and
Friday and Saturday. It was a good night.
It was a good morning. Yeah. Well, it was a morning. I wasn't awake yet, but we posted a State of Jefferson sign out there.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
We have 2 things on the agenda to get to. One is Bill was going to be making an announcement. Since you'd mentioned the state of Jefferson, do you want to make your announcement? I think there's an upcoming meeting or something.
Yeah. Well, there's a meeting we're not going to have a meeting, a local meeting. Becky holds those at the Church of Glad Tidings. We'll have one on the 11th, but on the 1st of June at the federal courthouse in Sacramento, and you can find the information. We'll put it on the website and on the Facebook page. They're going to place their new complaint because the judge has already killed 2 complaints. She can't kill the case, but she thinks she can kill the complaint until we run out of money. But we have now working with us Alex Kozinski. He's a former Ninth Circuit judge, and he's written it in such a way that we're very hopeful and positive that it will. She must accept a 3-judge court, and in doing so, any decision on it, be it up or down, will immediately go to the Supreme Court for an appeal. So
That sounds very promising.
State of Jefferson people, we really need your attendance. It's at 10 o'clock, federal courthouse in Sacramento. I can't remember the liberal politician's name, who it's named after, but
What date?
it's June 1st.
June 1st.
June 1st. It's a Friday. Yeah, I know. You're going to have to take day off. Oh, darn.
Not me. I'm right there around the corner.
There
I'll
you
just
go.
mosey down there and mosey back.
We'll just pull you over. And it'll be very important to show a force.
Actually, you know what? Jason, you know what? Give us a shout at the Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight. If you've got a van that carries more than 5 or 6 people and you're going to load it up, I'll provide the parking. I have the means. By June 1st, I will provide the parking for you. I can't provide parking for everybody, but if you're going to tote some people down there, you don't need to pay $25 for parking. I'll take care of it. Come give me a shout on our Facebook page. I'll get you my phone number, and we'll get you some free parking in there. You're going to have about a 1.5 block walk. That's it. But
Sweet.
it'd be, if you're coming down with a group, yeah, I can provide you parking, and we'll park you down there and give you some free parking down there and get you over there to the spot. So anybody listening can get that out there. They can fly it out on the whatever that page is.
We can rent a U-Haul truck and load it up the back, and that's what Kevin De Leon does with his family.
Hey. So yeah, if you're doing that and you're bringing a van or something, let me know in advance and I'll get you some parking down in that area.
Excellent.
There you go. Thank you.
Very good. And what time was that, Bill?
That's at 10 o'clock. They said be there at 9. Court opens at 10. There'll be 2 or 3 cases in front of us. And, they usually hustle through them pretty fast. So she's killed the complaint twice. She's dismissed it twice, but they're hopeful and positive that with the former judge, and he was a conservative judge. He was the most conservative judge on the court. Mm-hmm. And he resigned here late last year. But hopefully with the way he's written it, it will force them into a 3-judge panel, 3-judge court.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So want to touch on the campaign news of the week. There was lights winding down, so there's not a lot going on. There was one candidate forum held on Thursday at the Sutter County Republican Women Federated Luncheon, and they hosted the Yuba County Republican candidates. And Bill, you were in attendance to that. Did you want to give a report?
I was. I mean, it was a standard only Republicans, because that's all the Republican women can have at their meetings, is other Republicans, and John was there, Randy was there. Randy had to leave early and spoke slow, spoke first, left early. John was there, and there was for assessor, there's 3 running. Chusa Souza, Ernie Thompson, I sat next to him, and Duckles. Yeah, Steve Duckles. And there's also, oh gosh, Andy was there. Andy was the only one in his district there. I take it the other two are either Dakota State or I'm running out of breath.
There you go.
I need some water. Never mind.
Perhaps he's the only Republican candidate then.
He could be the only Republican candidate. Gosh, I don't know. Wendell was there, Wendell Anderson. Teng was not. I don't know what his position is or what his
affiliation
is. And everybody got up and gave and it went pretty fast. They got up and gave their 3-minute speech.
Excellent. Well, we've got one more candidate forum on the docket that I'm aware of, and that's hosted by the Sutter Buttes Tea Party Patriots. It is tomorrow night, the 21st. It begins at 6:30 p.m. We will be having the Chris Carlos show because we invited both Sutter County District Attorney candidates to attend, and Amanda Hopper has declined the invitation. She won't be there, so we get to hear exclusively from Chris Carlos, and he can set the record straight for all the people out there who think that he is supportive of a sanctuary state. He is not.
He is not.
And for some reason, it's been put out there that he is. And so we'll set the record straight on that and a number of other things. So, and then we'll probably, it was too short notice. I kind of wanted to have him on the radio, but I was so distracted with other things this week, I didn't have time to make that contact with him. But maybe we'll have him on the show next week.
Who?
Chris Carlos.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we'll talk to him and give him a little more platform.
We could invite Amanda. Now, don't send her email to the one on Sutter County under elections. Don't do that, because that's an old email. And she just checked it the night before I saw her, because that's what she told me.
Does she have the problem with emails disappearing?
That's a Curtis Grima email, isn't it?
You don't know who you're communicating
Young James.
You don't want to say Curtis too much because he'll try and intimidate you. He's very scary.
What is it with James? What is it with young James Gallagher?
My head's shaking in here. I wish you guys could all see this.
Give that man some Xanax or something. I don't
shaking
know,
in here.
Oh, stop.
Curtis Green may get me at the next party or have one of his minions do it.
Well, he says he's coming. What was it? They're coming to get you?
Coming to take you away.
They're coming to get you.
No, it's coming to get you.
Apparently that's a common theme. They're coming to get you. And they know what you drive. And they know where you live.
Yeah,
Coming to take me away, ha ha. They're coming to take me away, ho ho, hee hee, ha ha, to the funny farm.
They won't be taking you to the funny farm.
But the nice thing is at the funny farm, life is happy all the time.
That's right.
I do have to say one thing though. On the way in this afternoon, down when you come over the river, if that's the way you guys did you guys barely miss the grocery cart that was sitting there by the side of the road?
Oh,
I did.
Those grocery carts that kill people.
It almost jumped out at me.
It was sitting. I panicked a little bit. I made it by it, but yeah, it was a close call.
Now we got
part of a couch on it.
We got to back up real quick because we do this and we talk about stuff. Now nobody's going to know about loaded shopping carts and how they go around killing people. So we have 3 running for District 1 supervisor. We have Andy Vasquez. We have Joan Saunders, and we have David Joyce. Oh, I did that without a note. I'm so happy got the district right, got all the people right.
I'm taking pictures.
Apparently, David Joyce is really cross at me right now, and I've been a bad boy, and he wants to talk to me. Well, let me tell you something, David. You shouldn't have said the county is stronger than the private property owner. 999. Because, yeah.
We added the 999.
They're not.
I'm glad he did though, because I mean,
it sunk
at least we know where he stands.
Exactly,
I mean, you don't get to apologize afterwards. Oh, I don't know, but if that's what you mean, then say it.
And
please.
not only that he's been a big part of this radio show. I mean, he opens the show every time, so I hope he's happy about that. That's a lot of free airtime. Then we have Joan Saunders. Well, wait, let me back up. Then we have Andy Vasquez, pretty good guy. Apparently we don't see eye to eye, and now he's not going to like me anymore.
Darn. But we still back him because he's a good
still the
choice.
best candidate.
He's a
And
good
I
choice.
think he can come around. He's going to learn to see it our way one way or another, or we'll run somebody against him next time that can beat him that's worth running. Then we have Joan Saunders. Bless her heart. She
Bless her little
heart. She believes that there's potholes big enough to flip cars. And I mean, there's some pretty big potholes. I'll give you that, but not big enough to flip a car.
But
It's
she
big
has
enough-
the cure for those potholes.
Oh,
and she suggests filling them with sand.
Yes, sand.
Sand.
So,
But also, there's shopping carts that are very dangerous.
yes, there's the loaded shopping carts that are not only dangerous, but could quite possibly kill someone.
Yes, her words.
Yes, her words, they could kill someone. So that's where we're going with that. Those are your District 1 candidates for supervisor, and that's what brings up the loaded shopping cart ordeal, is she thought that a shopping cart laying on the side of the road could possibly hurt someone or even possibly kill them. I've never seen it happen. I don't know how it happens. I've never had a tragic accident running with a grocery
didn't
cart.
she
but
say that was one of her biggest concerns
Yes.
to take care of in the our
was
biggest problem?
potholes in shopping carts.
Yeah.
And then
Let's
both
just
of
push
them,
all the shopping carts off in the potholes.
Then both of them believe.
Wow.
Then both of them believe that the
mall,
Peachtree Mall, belongs to them, and they should be able to bulldoze it immediately.
That's
Zero tolerance.
Code enforcement.
Respect my authority.
Back my authority.
So
I have my own little minion in here. Can you hear it?
I
There's
can
an
hear it. I didn't mention that the other candidates that will be at the meeting tomorrow night are the Yuba County sheriffs, because their schedules prohibited either one of them from participating when we hosted the Sutter County and Yuba County sheriffs. So we're giving them another opportunity, and they'll be at the meeting tomorrow night.
Yeah. And on June 4th, we're going to have an ice cream social on the green. Day on the Green, ice cream social. All candidates in both counties are invited. We will get emails out here soon.
Bet you Amanda won't be there.
Well,
I'll bet you $1.
Her.
I'll bet you
I
$1.
hope she likes ice cream. Maybe she's allergic to ice cream.
All right, so we know we got 3 sheriff candidates over on our neck of the woods, Sutter County. I played 2 of their songs. I played Jeff Pierce's song, and then I played Big Deal, Big Time,
Big Deal Traffic Cop.
Big Guy Traffic Cop for Dennis Houck, because he is a traffic cop.
He's a big deal traffic cop.
And I'm going to play Brandon Barnes right now because it wouldn't be fair to not play my favorite candidates if I played everybody else's. So I'm going to play that real quick, and then we'll come back and talk some more. So that was for Brandon Barnes. Going to be our new Yuba County,
Sutter County sheriff.
Sutter County sheriff. Really like that guy. I think he's going to be a stand-up sheriff. I just can't say enough about him. I like his mindset. Actually, my wife really likes that song. She thinks that's how I am, and that's kind of what
It was your theme song, so that was very generous of you to contribute that to be his tribute song.
Well, I
because
think
really, it's your theme song.
Well, I really think it's honestly how the guy is. I really think you're going to get a fair handshake with him, and whether you like it or not, he's going to be our sheriff, I think, and you better get to warming up to him.
I don't see how anybody could not like it.
I don't either.
I like that song too. Guess we all runs in the family.
From
Yes,
the Peanut Gallery.
I saw you lip syncing.
What?
Busted.
So, what else we got? We got 2 minutes.
Robert T. Matsui Courthouse, 501 I Street, Sacramento. That's where the June 1st thing is.
Okay. I Street, that's right near me.
There you go.
So you'll be within range. I think we should talk about, you've got 2 minutes, honey. I'd like to dedicate this to you real quick on the Harvey Milk thing and what day you're going to pull your kids out of school.
Please.
No, that is the whole reason why my child is in private school.
I got you, but I want to give are you up to speed on the date that most people are
It
going
was
to pull their
the
kids out
May
of school?
22nd.
May 22nd.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a good idea. Let's have people call their district or call their school and find out what their plans are for that day and if they're going to be participating in recognizing in any way, shape, or form Harvey Milk Day.
Harvey
Yeah.
Milk,
That's the name, Harvey Milk.
a nice, cool pedophile.
Wow.
The schools are going to celebrate. Are you kidding me
yes.
right now? Come on.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Ask your school what
And-
they're doing.
and
And
not only
if
that,
they're
ask the-
participating in any way, shape, or form, you pull your kid out of school that day.
Absolutely.
Ask your super, what is it that we're
Superintendent
of school.
Yeah, ask them what they think of it. Ask them what they think of it before you make your vote.
Mm-hmm.
Ask them what they think about that and then vote wisely. Come on.
Thank God
Yeah.
I'm in a Christian school. Private
Yes.
school. Let's put that private school.
Private, Christian, all the better.
Yes.
Okay.
That's one thing I can say that Yuba County does have over Sutter. We have a heck of a superintendent of schools.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you
We've
do.
heard him. That guy is awesome. So I can't say enough about him. I can't even remember his name.
Carry us out, Frank Reveles.
All
Yes.
right. Yep. That's it, guys. So we will see you in 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Back here, we will have Yuba County Sheriffs. We'll have some theme songs for them. I'm sure. So that ought to be very interesting. All right, everybody. Have a good week. We'll see you next weekend.
God bless everybody.